A. Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala. Damage control. Damage control. Damage control.
Yeah, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock, it's time to learn what you can do when something has been damaged in your home or your yard or something like that. And Joe Reichel is here to tell you what he would do and perhaps how he will do it, and maybe even share some do-it-yourself tips. Joe Reichel is one of the owners of Damage Control Services, and you see him riding around town in his wrapped car with a photo of himself and the two Sobieski brothers.
Yep, Mike and Rob.
Mike and Rob. And the show is an opportunity for you as listeners to pick Joe's brain a little bit. The number is 622-WOCA. That is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-9622. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
I was worried about you.
Well, I was fielding a little damage control in the parking lot.
Were you?
I was.
Did you get hit?
Just a phone call. No.
Oh, okay.
No, taking care of a homeowner. We were talking about some door damage that a mower ran into a door. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You never heard? Yeah, you wouldn't think of that. My son became a homeowner yesterday. My son and his wife.
I saw the pictures on Facebook. That's a nice looking house.
Isn't that nice? Yeah.
Real pretty. Where's that at?
Here in Ocala.
Okay. Very pretty house.
I have no idea where to tell you.
North,
south,
city,
east.
area.
I don't know. I don't know. Not far from where I live. Of course, it's Ocala, so it can't be far from where I live.
Can't be too far. That's a nice looking house. We had an interesting call yesterday, and oftentimes I wonder, really, what am I going to talk about today whenever I come into the radio station? Because, and here's the reason why, Larry. For me, it's pretty much the same thing every day. It's damage, and we're going to fix it.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I've got no doubt that we can fix it. For homeowners, though, or for our listeners that we're talking to, they may have never experienced this, and they may never have to, as far as a disaster or what to do. And yesterday we had a disaster. Some homeowners, this is an elderly lady, has her daughter living with them and with her. It's just the two of them, and her daughter is disabled, so she's in a wheelchair, the mother's in a walker. Not sure why, but they were lifting up the lid, the tank lid on the commode.
Okay.
It slipped out of her hands.
Oh, no.
Fell into the bottom of the tank and shattered it.
Oh, no.
Water everywhere, water running everywhere. It's continuing to run.
Wow.
Flooded the entire house. Carpet is soaked. The bathroom, she ended up, they didn't know what to do, who to call. She called 911. They get out there, turn the water off.
Oh, wow.
But by the time they responded and got there, you can imagine lots of water throughout the entire house.
Yeah.
So we get the phone call to go out there and clean this up. Now, it's kind of an unfortunate situation just because of, elderly woman.
Yeah, right.
And her daughter, living there. She doesn't have the funds to fix, to pay for this, but she does have an insurance policy. She does not know where it's at. She doesn't know who it's with.
Oh, no.
She says, I think it's with, Allstate.
Right.
So my brother-in-law, Mike, tells her, she's like, well, why can't you just suck up the water and I'll be okay? We can't do that, because if we just sucked up the water, first of all, this lady needs new carpet. That's the extent of this disaster. Everything's saturated, but because of their condition and circumstances, we can't disrupt their home. We just can't, because of walker and wheelchair and all that. So she says, just suck up the water and I'll be okay. If we were to do that in a matter of 3 days, the house would be unlivable because of mold.
Sure.
That's just...
And she didn't realize that.
She didn't know that. She didn't realize it. And so, and her thing is, I don't have any money. So, unfortunately, we're in a predicament. Either we do something or we do nothing. So Mike, my brother-in-law, started calling the insurance agent. It wasn't through Allstate.
But you did find one, huh?
We found who her insured, who insures her, and was able to start a claim for her and start that whole process. We did get it dried out or get everything started in the process of doing the drying and everything. So it's going to be, like I said, an extensive claim. But here this woman, in a very unfortunate circumstance that she's in anyway, didn't have any idea where her paperwork was or where to even begin or where to start. And I'm talking to Mike and, my brother-in-law, Mike, and, he was the one who responded to the emergency, and we're talking about it. I said, we need to talk about this on the radio. Because
that's true. That's an important one.
Well, I always talk about how we need to, know what your insurance policy is.
Where it is.
know where it is.
Yeah.
Know where, put all your important papers in one place, preferably, and that way you know who to call or how to get the process started if you do have a claim. And there again, know how to turn the water off. If this happened, and she would have been thinking...
She could have been so much better off if she just turned it off.
She, right where the pipe comes out underneath the commode is that knob.
That little thing, yeah.
She could have turned that knob.
Oh, man.
Sometimes they're kind of hard to turn, but she didn't know.
But she's on a walker. Maybe she couldn't get down there.
And that's highly possible, too. And, like I said, it's a very unfortunate circumstance, the whole thing. But, homeowners in general... my plea is, we talked, I think last week about fire extinguishers, I think it was,
right.
Know where it is and know how to use it, know where your water shut-off is, or know how to shut the water off to the house and what to do in the event that this happens, because, in a matter of minutes, something that can be contained is now, several $1,000s job.
Wow,
just because of the amount of amount of damage that's caused.
Do you know, in expressing how the damage happened, it seems like it's very easy to break a toilet bowl tank. Mm-hmm. It just seems like all of a sudden there it was broken. And yet, I witnessed a guy one time out in the yard with a toilet bowl, and he said, "What do you think is more expensive to break? The false teeth that are stuck in this toilet bowl or the toilet bowl?" I said, "Oh my goodness, there's false teeth in there?" And indeed, somebody had accidentally flushed their false teeth and they got lodged in that S-curve at the bottom of the bowl. So I said, "I bet you the teeth cost more than the bowl."
Yeah, for sure. You can buy a toilet for a couple $100.
So he smashed the bowl, but it was hard. I guess that's where I was getting to. It was not easy to break the bowl.
Yeah, probably.
With that sledgehammer, but...
Well, and here again, I've seen them break, where you've tightened them down to the...
and it cracks.
Yeah, tighten it to the floor, it'll crack it right there.
Yeah.
I one time was flushing a urinal, and I pushed the button...
Yeah.
And, to flush it, and the button, probably about the size of a 50-cent piece, round, popped off. The screw came loose, and it dropped down in the urinal and busted it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It just created a bigger hole.
In a store or something?
It was in a commercial building, but...
Why don't we have urinals in our homes, by the way?
We were working on it, on the building, so...
so...
It wasn't really...
You went out and you said, "Guess what I just did?"
It was just a matter of replacing it, yeah.
How come we don't have urinals in our homes? It's socially unacceptable or something?
I don't know. I guess somebody could have one.
Have you ever seen one?
No, I don't think I have, actually.
And what's with the bidet thing? We don't have them in this country. Is that what it's called?
A bidet, yeah.
And we don't have them in our country or something?
There's homes that have them.
And what is... have you ever used one of them?
I have not.
What's the idea? You squirt yourself with the water?
Yeah, a little water to wash things off.
Okay. So I've never seen one.
That'd be a good question for Mike Scott Plumbing.
Do they put... Well, isn't there mentioned in one of their commercials?
Could be.
And I
can't
remember
their water.
I can't remember. See, she pronounces it. Brittany pronounces it a certain way, and I can't remember if we had.
Brittany Bulling.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Mike Scott.
Yeah, I never knew if I knew her last name. But anyway, so she says bidet or
it's bidet.
Bidet. She says it one way or the other. I can't remember which way she says it. And we got a couple calls saying it was the wrong way. Somebody else said it was the right way. So I don't know how to say it.
We could probably.
I don't have one.
We could probably get Sean on the air and get a question for that. But
no, I mean, I distracted you from the important message of knowing where your paperwork is.
We've actually in a home that we're remodeling right now, they're taking one out, and in order to fix the whole.
Taking what out? Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, so we have them.
Oh, yeah. There's homes that have them. Usually the nicer homes will have them.
Isn't it a mess, though? I mean, doesn't the water get everywhere?
Well, it's not supposed to go everywhere, and that's why it's designed the way they are, so that you can hover and keep the water in an area that's all okay.
Yeah.
So, but I guess if that water did go everywhere, we could clean that up.
I'm guessing the lady with the walker would be uncomfortable with that. I mean, if you need a walker, you're not going to hover too well.
Not going to hover too well, no.
Sorry.
Homeowners with walkers probably don't hover too well. Not generalizing, just stating.
It just makes sense.
I wish Sean was here. This would be good.
Or you have a phone call.
But I hope it's Sean.
Probably calling to chew us out or chew me out. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Joe, it's just Mr. Hugh here calling.
Hello. How you doing today, sir?
Pretty good. That was a wonderful thing you did with that lady with the water problem.
Yeah.
You just didn't, wipe her clean and walk out the door and, send her a bill. You did it right, What I always do in my last home here, too, is with the wife. We go through the whole house. I said, honey, I had some plumbing work done in the garage where it runs into my water system, and I had the plumber put in a special main turn-off water, right visible at belly button height, and I got a little sign above it, main water turn-off.
Wow.
So I told my wife, if you ever have a problem, you come out in the garage, and that's what you do. Electric, I showed her in a box. I got a sign, hit the main switch, knock it out, and you stop all your electric in the house. And those are such two important things, because if you don't know what to do, like this woman, you're going to have a house full of water or maybe a fire.
Well, we've had, and you're to be commended, sir, for sure, because there's not many homeowners that have done that or know where all of this stuff is, or even if you know where the main shutoff is outside the house. Sometimes homeowners, especially older ones, don't know or don't have the strength physically to be able to turn those things off. So having a main shutoff like that is a great idea. And knowing where, like you said, the electrical panel or the main breaker, knowing how to flip that switch for sure, those are huge things that oftentimes are overlooked. And maybe, in a case, if you do have that or do know where it is, as the man of the house, we know where it's at, we know what to do, but have we explained it to our wives? Have we explained that to our kids if they're the only ones home?
Right, yeah.
I mean, I've had multiple people. I was talking to a friend of mine who is in the restoration business as well. They had a fire, and the son was able to put the fire out, before a lot of damage happened. But, do your children know where the fire extinguishers are? Do they know, how to do this stuff? And that's, a lot of times we don't plan or prepare or don't even think about planning and preparing for the event, of a disaster.
Yeah, and another thing, too, that we should not forget about is your gas going into your house, your natural gas. In case you'd have a gas leak or something. So I showed her where that was outside, and it's just the pliers is right, easy to grab, and it's right there. You just give it a little bit of a turn, and your gas is shut off. And that's another important thing. Very important.
We've had several instances, in construction phases where we were, working on homes, and something happened with the gas line, and all of a sudden you're, evacuating. That's because crazy, of, so scary. If you know where the shutoff is in the house, you can at least save the house area.
Yeah.
For future, if there's going to be damage.
One thing though with turning off the electricity, I said on a Sunday, don't turn the electric off if I'm taping a NASCAR race. Wait till the race is over and then go ahead and do your thing.
Do what you got to do after NASCAR. I like that.
Okay, Joe, nice talking.
Thanks for the call, and thank you for the helpful ideas. And that's something that is recommended for sure. Is having an emergency shutoff for your water.
For everything, all the things. And gas is something we wouldn't have thought of, right?
Right.
Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Yes, good morning. Listen, I'd like to find out what is the best way to get around. I have sunroof, skylight.
A skylight?
And of course, it's leaking. And it's leaking through, the drywall that descends.
Right.
The drywall that jets up to a chute up to the skylight. Well, the drywall is wet, and I go up there, and of course nothing is perceivable. So can I just slide that tar substance between the shingles up there around the skylight, or what? I'm not sure that's very effective, but I don't know. What would you recommend me?
Well, it really depends where it's leaking at. That is a great place to start as far as around that area, and so that it would stop it. But like I said, it really depends where it's leaking. I've had success even real tight right around the skylight itself is where the water is getting in. But typically they do have a flange that goes under the shingles, and once that...
That is what's leaking through.
What's that?
The flange under the tiles. I checked the glass, and it's the flange. Okay.
Well, it's probably best to take up those shingles and put some tar under there and re-shingle that area. It'd probably be your best bet.
Re-shingle it?
Yeah.
Okay. And I can do that small sections. Just take out the small section of shingles and be able to slide it back in and
you got to be very gentle doing it, and you'll want to do it early in the morning, and that way if this is something you're going to do, you'll want to do it early in the morning so that you're not going to the shingles aren't the heat of the day will make those shingles stick. So if you do it early in the morning, the shingles will come off a little easier, and that way it'll make it easier to replace. And it's also not so miserable being up there if you're the one doing it, as far as the heat.
Absolutely. No, that's a really good tip, early in the morning, because, I noticed that they were pretty stuck together, but, I did not do that in the morning, so great. Okay, well, that was going to be my first attempt to it, so
there you go.
How that went.
There you go. Thanks for the call.
So much, man.
Thank you.
Good luck, too, with that. And, Joe, I think you have a caller on the other line.
We've got Sean Scott. Sean, you there?
Hey, good morning, Joe.
Okay, this is Sean Scott, the owner of Mike Scott Plumbing. Great friend of mine, and the master behind behind all things plumbing. So
that's a good way to...
I'm giving you a new title. I don't know if you've got one of them, if you got a title like that, but I'm giving you a new one. The question is, we were talking about bidets. Do you guys install those?
Yes, sir. They've become more popular here in our area in the last probably 4 or 5 years.
More popular?
More. Like, we'll do them here and there, but lately it seems like they're coming on, and not just for women. A lot of men are doing it for health reasons as well. That's one of the reasons people put them in.
What's the temperature of the water? Is it cold or hot?
You set it. It's got it's got a hot and cold on it, so it's kind of like your shower. You would set it to whatever temperature that you would like it at.
Have you used one of these?
I have used the product. I will not install the product. I have not used or tested ourselves. And yes, I've used it both ways. Once I drink water out of it like a fountain, and then
is it a mess?
It can get a little. It can get if you don't know what you're doing, which sounds weird, but yes.
Now, would a person with a walker be able to use this, or would they not be able to hover? You have to hover.
Yes, you kind of hover, or some people just actually just flatten the water down. So it all depends on supposed to hover and then structural video.
Okay.
But yeah.
All the Europeans are laughing at us right now because they find it weird that we find it weird.
Probably.
You know what I did find interesting, and I don't, I'm not doing this to gross anybody out, but when I talk about medical reasons, a lot of, I won't say a lot of, doctors prefer, but for people that have extreme hemorrhoid problems, this pretty much makes it go away for men or women. So that's where we see a lot of them being installed. So
I could get a prescription if I was to have this problem.
Yeah, you could turn that in. That it's doctor. If your insurance company will allow that as a necessary, necessary. So.
Well, I mean, I have seen where don't doctors prescribe you do swimming, so people get swimming pools. So
true.
I don't know how that.
I might have to tie that into some of my marketing.
So you'll need a bigger bathroom if you're going to put another bowl in there.
Yes.
It does take about another 34 to 36 inches somewhere to put that in, side to side, to make room for it. So
does it flush like a toilet?
It kind of drains. It doesn't flush. It has a regular drain on it, so almost like a sink drain. Because remember, it's just for cleaning. Not that you haven't had to go in there and pull some stools out, but it's a cleaning people's problem because it seems like rich people put them in.
Rich people are cleaner, right? Combined one.
On construction, we do quite a few of them. We got 2 of them going in on houses that we're currently doing now. So
Dan wants us to ask if you can combine one, make a toilet and a bidet or whatever you call it, as a one thing.
You can be, and they actually make a seat that goes on a regular toilet that will hook water to. It's got a hot and cold line, and we hook it to the actual seat. And it plugs in the wall. It's a 110 outlet because it'll also warm the seat like a little heater in the morning, and it connects to your iPod, so you can listen to music. It's almost like a car. You got settings for you and your wife, and you push the button when you get in. That's how this seat is. So if it's you push number 1, it starts playing the music, warms the temperature that you like, and you're there for a little while. Just gets it. It's relaxing, apparently.
So have you tried this one?
We have several models that they're not working, but I have seen it in operation. We have some models at our office, but they're non-operational. I don't know if I would trust anybody, actually, sitting on the toilets in the showroom. But they are available. We've done as much as people put a handheld shower beside their toilet. Like, if you picture a handheld shower in somebody's bathroom, we've had some French people actually have us put that in just beside the toilet. France.
Right.
Because they want it.
Oh. So does anybody ask for a urinal in their bathroom in their homes?
We do. We have currently 1 urinal going on right now in new construction. And we get them normally in a man cave or a similar area like that. Not in too many normal, I wouldn't say normal houses, but we do get them more often than not.
So it's not a normal application. So I just got a text and it says, you started it with the whole toilet thing.
Who did?
I started it. That's the text. So, and it wasn't from Sean.
Damage control specialist.
Damage Control Services does it again.
So is the urinal an American thing? Like, do they have urinals in Europe?
Yes.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they're across the nation. That was an American thing though, because we didn't aim correctly, so they gave us something a bigger target.
Well, now
Sean, it's always good to have you call in and answer questions for us.
Sure.
How do you spell bidet? How is that word spelled?
B-I-D-E-T.
Yeah, that's why it's mispronounced.
B-I?
Yeah, B Now I'm not even gonna. I'm driving. I'm not gonna try to concentrate again. I told him once. It came to my mind. I'm not gonna try again.
Yeah, he said BI. All right,
Thank you, Sean. Remember, if water runs through it, they do it.
Have a great day, guys. Take it easy.
That's not my music.
I know, but he's doing something in there. All right, here comes your music.
All right, so if you have any questions, preferably not about bidets, you can always call me, 352-817-6574, or Joe at damageflorida.com.
There it is. Okay. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
That was fun.
It was good.
All right. Hang in there. Fox News coming up.
To more hot, cold, and other severe weather.
If anything, we're seeing some of the effects that are predicted by the models coming in more quickly.
White House counsel John Podesta claiming the report makes it more important to limit greenhouse gases. Critics say the report may